SuperTalk Mississippi Media production.
I'm Steve Azar, and I'm on the other side of the microphone, meaning I'm asking the questions this time, and oh, have mercy for the airwaves. I spent 20 years in Music City, wrote and made some hits, traveled the world, and then moved my family back to the birthplace of American music and where the magnolia trees prosper. And now every time I put my feet on Mississippi soil, when I'm off the road, well, I'm at peace. On this show, it's all about hearing the stories straight from the mouths of the friends I've made along the way, their journey to success. Heck, there might be someone on, I don't even know, but you know how us Mississippi types are. We tend to take well to new company. In a Mississippi Minute, all 60 of them. I'm Steve Azar. It's just like that muddy river, moving slow. Ain't no worries, it's how life goes, baby. In a Mississippi Minute.
Hey folks, time for another In a Mississippi Minute. Happy end of your weekend. Looking forward to today's guest. He's a tri-peat. Can you say that? Three-peat. He's a three-peat. Especially getting ready for March Madness. His family really knows how to play hoop. I'll get to that in a second. Visit Mississippi.org celebrates all the art forms like you wouldn't believe, from culinary to music to filmmaking. And that's where we are today. One of Mississippi, just another treasure that's decided to start storytelling in his neck of the woods and spread the love of Mississippi throughout the world. He began acting and directing in theater in 2008, which was not a good year, by the way, economically speaking. But for him, it was. He helped renovate, eventually would snowball into this renovation, which takes a lot of work, historic building in his hometown of Baldwin, Performance Theater. It's called the Claude Gentry. He was the writer-producer of the 2022 film Mysterious Circumstance, the death of Meriwether Lewis, and a period piece set in 1809 Tennessee starring John Snyder and Evan Williams. This work earned him a Southeast Emmy nomination. His entertainment career doesn't stop with films, though. He's also a musician and a singer, member of the Mississippi Junebugs, which are really cool band, annually performing at some iconic venues across the Mid-South. He wrote a history and entertainment column for the Baldwin News for 20 years. He's been the host of a few radio shows and worked in sports broadcasting as well over the years. To top it off, he's a proud dad and grandfather, about to send off his fourth child, son, the baby, getting married. So I've got him, he's dressed and ready and packed while he does this interview. I was fortunate enough to be a part of his TV series coming out called Tallahatchie. It was a great experience for me, watching everything that him and his team did, so professional. And I'm so excited about this thing hitting the airways. We're going to talk about when all that's going to take place, how the editing process is going, who else is involved in the film. Please welcome in the wonderful, really good guy, Clark Ritchie. What's up, Clark?
Hey, thanks, Steve, for having me on again. Yeah, we're excited about a lot of things up here in our neck of the woods in Mississippi. Tallahassee's one of them for sure.
All right, let's talk about your baby boy here. I'm 0 for 3, and you're about to be 4 for 4.
This one's my fourth son. He's 8 years younger than my third son, so he's definitely like a second trial at a firstborn, you know. And he's getting married this weekend, so we're all excited about that. That'll be my fourth son. I got 10 grandchildren and four sons, and 3 of them are married, and this will be the fourth one.
You like your grandchildren more than your children?
Well, I wouldn't. I can't say. I will not say that. But this one he was a football player. He played at Tennessee Tech University, where I ended up playing, and so he's as you know, all of my family is very sports oriented.
You know it.
And he just wrapped that chapter up. The thing about football, it's not like golf or even basketball, really. Once you play your last game of football, that's it. You don't play. You don't play any more football. And so he's wrapped that up.
Did I tell you?
On to marriage. And
that's so good.
They're both in law school at Mississippi College.
Him and his bride-to-be.
Yes.
Wow, that's pretty dang cool right there. I love it. I know you're proud of your kids. Do you know you just brought up basketball? Once you quit, you're supposed to be done. But you know that I, like an idiot, decided to sign a 2-day ABA contract this year. I played for the Herkimer Originals in New York. I was shooting really good. I hadn't touched a basketball in 10 years. Felt good. But when I was training at my old St. Joe gym, and I tore my elbow up, shooting too much. I mean, when does that never crossed my mind, me shooting too much. So I couldn't even draw it back. My elbow was, and then finally my brother from Memphis, my doctor brother came and shot it up. He said, this isn't going to feel good. This is in a really bad spot. And I said, I don't care, but I'll be dog if it didn't work. But I've been asked to go back and play. And I said, guys, that wasn't even on my bucket list. And I'm not going to go back and refill another bucket that I have no, so it was fun though. These kids were 20 something years old and they were running fast, scoring 120 points a game. And it was fun to play.
You got out there in that, huh?
Yeah.
That's like walking out on the freeway. That's like walking out on the freeway.
Blindfolded.
I wouldn't want to do that.
It wasn't good. All right. So let me talk to you about this film, Tallahatchie, your series. How many parts is it going to be after you finished?
Well, that's funny you should ask that, because in post-production, it's already extended from 8 episodes to 9 episodes, because we have so much in one of the episodes that we felt like that we needed to do a 2-parter of it. So no one knows that but me and you at this point.
Well, now a lot of people, all of Mississippi.
All of Mississippi will know
and beyond.
My editor and I, we looked at all of the great interviews, which you were one of, you might recall. But we have so much material, and it was just there, and we said, why not? It's 20 each episode, as you cut it to Mississippi Public Broadcasting PBS standards, is 27 minutes long, basically. So another 27 minutes in 8 weeks of filming all day. It wasn't that hard to find another episode, and we have found another episode.
What did you feel like the challenges were to you when you were making this film, looking back? Anything that sort of got you stuck a little bit, or just said, man, how am I going to get past this?
Well, this film called Tallahatchie was the history. It's a documentary series. It's the history of the Tallahatchie River region of Mississippi. And the real challenge, and the thing that we were just like, our heart was racing and we were just running full speed on all the time, was trying to capture everything. You're a Mississippian and lean into the history and the culture of Mississippi, and you know how much is there. And we didn't want to miss anything. So every day for all of those weeks, I think it was a 7-week shoot, all of those days we got up and we raced for 12 hours in that day. From the time we started until the end of the day, it was just full speed ahead. And mostly from the standpoint, the reason for that was we wanted to capture everything. We didn't want to leave anybody out. We didn't want to leave any historical side out. We didn't want to leave any great character out. So that really was the challenge, is just trying to honestly pack it all in. I could have shot for 6 months and still had plenty to do, but trying to pack it all into 7 weeks was really the main challenge.
At the end of that, and I was as tired as you. Y'all were my third of 4 shows in a row, and I was traveling too. So you get punch drunk and your mind's so foggy. And I remember just looking at you going, Steve, what are you saying or not saying? I was really tired. My voice was gone. I'm not built like it was when I was younger. You know, when Bob Seger, when we were touring together, he'd take a day on, day off. And I used to go, why aren't we just playing every day? And I realized why, as you get older, you can't do it. Your body can't handle it.
I had 2 knee surgeries when I was playing football. Arthroscopic.
Of course you did.
Of course I did. Everybody did in those days. And by the time I got through with this shoot, I was on my feet straight for 7 weeks, just running around. And my right leg looked like a log. It was just straight down,
Oh, you're kidding.
The knee. It was just, I've had multiple steroid shots in that knee since then. They drew off it felt like a gallon of fluid, but I'm sure it wasn't. But I'm much better now.
Let's take a quick break. I know. Well, I'm glad you're rested up. You got a big weekend coming up. Clark Ritchie's my guest. The series, 9-part now. You guys know more than most people. Tallahatchie. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be a very historical piece about who we are. Tallahatchie, obviously famous. If you're from Mississippi or anywhere around Mississippi, you know all about it, read about it, learned about it. Now you're really going to understand its true meaning and all that mattered. I'm with my pal Clark Ritchie. He's the man behind it all. Visit Mississippi.org allows me to interview folks like my buddy Clark, and I really appreciate them so much. Take a trip up to his neck of the woods in Northeast Mississippi. We'll be right back.
I was born to feel this screaming wind against my face. Oh, I'm a vengeance, I'm not afraid. Spitting fire and spilling grace. Falling out of a rocky blue and risen sky. I'm gonna fly. Watch me fly. I'm gonna fly.
Your next customer is searching online right now. Will they find you or your competitor? If your website is outdated, slow, or hard to use on a phone, you could be losing business every day. SuperTalk Mississippi Media builds sharp, mobile-friendly websites that look great and work even better, and they're more affordable than you might think. We can drive customers to your new website with powerful radio commercials and targeted digital ads on Facebook, Google, TikTok, Hulu, and more. Call SuperTalk Mississippi Media at 601-991-2305 or visit stmmdigital.com.
The Huntington's disease is...
There's still so much to say.
Love spending time with Clark Ritchie. What a man, what a talent. Athletically, growing up, was a machine. His dad, one of the greatest high school basketball coaches from Wheeler in history of Mississippi. I got to witness that firsthand on the bench, watching him do his wonders out there. One of the best basketball teams I've ever seen was when we played up there at North State back in the day at Baldwin. And it was wild to see what he had on the floor and how disciplined they were. And we'd never seen anything like it. And it's sort of like watching the movie Hoosiers to me. It sort of reminded me of that, the talent that was on the floor and how cohesive. They all seemed like they were one person out there. It was awesome. Even when the guys on the bench came off, there was nothing missing. It was just seamless. Visit Mississippi.org. Northeast Mississippi up there, man. You kidding me? It's just a section of Mississippi. You got kudzu, you got talent, and today's guest is all about that. Clark Ritchie. His new series, Tallahatchie, is coming out. It's going to be on PBS. I have a feeling this thing's going to stretch beyond PBS. You know, you get into PBS and you're in the Mississippi market and the Tennessee and Arkansas and Alabama, and all of a sudden it takes fire and you end up on the whole PBS network. Clark, why PBS? Wait. So wait a minute. This is going to be on PBS out the box?
It's on it's MPB.
Yeah, MPB. Okay. What's that? Explain to people how that thing sort of grows out.
Well, you can go to your state broadcasting system, your public broadcasting system, which Royal Ailes is the executive director of Mississippi Public Broadcasting here in Mississippi.
Yeah,
and we got a good relationship with him. Our movie played on Mississippi Public Broadcasting. So once you play on your local station, it makes you eligible and available to all of PBS network. You also are able to distribute your product worldwide through either American Public Television or PBS Plus distribution. So it's a great deal for independent filmmakers if you can produce content that is desirable for your public broadcasting system. So as a historically aligned or inclined person, almost everything I do sort of fits that PBS genre.
Yeah,
it's something that would be interesting to them, and you know, it's not like Mississippi Public Broadcasting, PBS. They don't go out and solicit independent filmmaking. Right. But if you produce the right kind of series, it's a heck of a great place to get your product distributed.
All right, let's talk about how that happens. You had a couple last minute additions to your interview process, and you can tell everybody, because I feel like this is going to be the game changer.
It really is. We've got a great producer who you know named David Cruz. And
he's the best guy ever.
He's super connected. He's super connected in Oxford, and he's a diligent and relentless worker and producer of film. He produces his own films of his own right. He's won a Southeastern Emmy for one of his films. But he's one of our partners on this thing. And in post-production, which has sort of extended our post-production, we picked up two great new interviews. One, Morgan Freeman. We got Morgan Freeman's interview, and as you know, his grandmother lived in Charleston. He moved to Charleston, Tallahatchie County, then ended up going to LaFleur County and living there and going to school. He graduated from Broad Street School in LaFleur County, both right along the Tallahatchie River. So
amazing.
We had to have Morgan Freeman as a part of our show. We wanted him from the outset, and so he graciously allowed us to interview him over at Ground Zero, and so we picked up that interview. And then just last week, one of the features of our show is the career of Archie Manning at Ole Miss and how he was a cultural icon here at the heart of the Tallahatchie River, right there in Lafayette County. So who better to talk about Archie Manning than one of his children? And so Eli Manning interviewed with us. David flew up to New York a week ago and interviewed Eli, and Eli Manning has consented to be a part of our Tallahatchie program, and he'll be commenting on his father and various other things. I don't know if he had any wild escapades out at Sardis Lake when he was over at Oxford at Ole Miss, but David hadn't told me if he said that.
Let me tell you about Sardis Lake. Got a lot of memories. In Sardis Lake. I mean, that's a piece of Mississippi. Oh my goodness. Are you kidding me? We can't even go there. We used to play this club called the GTL, which was the Good Time Lounge on the highway. I'll never forget. I mean, this was my college days. I saw on the marquee, it said, all you can eat catfish. Oh, and by the way, Steve Azar, right? Very humbling. When I knew, and all of a sudden, maybe, after we played a few times, I saw we were the headline and Catfish was where I was, and I said, we have arrived. It's the funniest thing. But Clark, we used to go to this Texaco, I think it was, after the show, and they would serve these ham sandwiches, and they would cut the deli meat there and all that, and it would be enough ham for four of us, so we'd buy a loaf of bread. And we would make four sandwiches out of, back when we had zero money and we were just kind of busting up and down the highway.
That place, Steve, it exposed a whole generation of young people to music. Your music, all that hill country blues music going on in that same general area. Yeah. I mean, that's what I found up and down the Tallahatchie. It's just places like you're talking about.
It's just insane.
And you take it for granted. Hey, I'm out here with the catfish. I'm doing this. This is the wildest thing. But everybody that saw you at that place, they still remember it to this day, and it has impacted their lives and their feeling about music and everything. It's just these ripple effects that just continue to circle out around all of these little things that we do, and that's what I found all up and down the Tallahatchie.
Well, we had obviously Greenville. We had Thunderbirds, and then we had which was I can't remember a big place. I can't remember what it was before that. It was pretty iconic. Then we'd go to Indianola at Chevy's, and then we'd go to Greenwood at Tomanella's, and then we'd make our way to Mark's with Grendel Roy at the Junction, which was legendary. And then we'd GTL. I mean, this was little runs we all made, and I wasn't the only one. I mean, Mark Colley, even Creed played with us at the Junction one time. It was crazy. Who's this band Creed, but anyway, you're right. The Tallahatchie itself, and just, it's like, almost like, it's sort of nuts that it's just so cool that you decided to do this. Let's back up for a second. Why Tallahatchie for you? Well,
I have honestly, that idea came from two people, really, two communities. The Tallahatchie County community, Syke Sturdivant, who you may know, Syke Sturdivant. He's a farmer there in Tallahatchie County. He is a part of the Tallahatchie River Authority. And Billie Jean Stroud, who's John Stroud's wife, but she's also the Main Street director of New Albany and several other positions. She just happens to be married to the leading scorer of all time in Ole Miss, Ole Miss basketball history. But she's in New Albany. She's in New Albany, and she's on many state boards and tourism groups and everything. And she leads New Albany, but they had the idea they wanted to promote their region. They're part of this Tallahatchie River Authority, and it's sort of this new group, and it's the 8 counties that are up and down the Tallahatchie River. And I know the folks at New Albany. Representative Sam Creekmore's a good friend of mine over there, and I've been over there and participated with them on various things before. And so I was talking to Billie Jean and Sam one day, and I said, well, why don't you do a TV show to promote the region? So it basically just a conversation started. And at the same time, I was working with MPB on our movie being broadcast on MPB. And I just sort of said, hey, this is 2 things that we could put together, and maybe we could do something else really good. And that's why it was Tallahatchie. It could be Tom Bigby. It could be Yallabusha. It could be Yazoo. It could be any of those rivers. We could do the same kind of series, because the talent and the stories in Mississippi are just about limitless.
Yeah.
And the river is just a venue. The Tallahatchie is particularly relevant because it has that national prominence because of Bobby Gentry's song, "Ode to Billy Joe." Billy Joe McAllister jumped off the Tallahatchie Bridge. You have also the murder of Emmett Till, his body being dumped in the Tallahatchie River.
Yeah.
And you go way back in history. I mean, you got during the Civil War, it was really a battle to get across the Tallahatchie River back and forth. We've had so many presidents cross the Tallahatchie River. Andrew Jackson and Ulysses S. Grant and on and on. You know, it's just a lot of history there.
My pal Clark Ritchie, the man behind Tallahatchie. MPB coming out soon. Visit Mississippi.org allows all this magic to happen. We'll be right back.
Baby, am I getting close? I gotta find another way into your life. Can't get there like I did before. 'Cause that bridge is washed out and the road isn't there anymore. No, no, no. That bridge is washed out and the road isn't there anymore.
Up to $20,000 available for first-time home buyers. Hey folks, Steve Azar here. Helping is the heart of our friends at Guarantee Bank. They offer programs like the Home Buyer Equity Leverage Partnership Grant that can assist qualified first-time home buyers with up to $20,000 towards down payment and provide home ownership counseling to empower you on your journey. These funds are first come, first served. Learn more about this program and to apply now, go to gbtonline.com. Guarantee Bank, member FDIC.
Nowadays, in a Mississippi Minute with Steve Azar, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi.
We were just 2 kids on the corner. Highway 1 and 82.
My pal Clark Ritchie, one heck of a director, producer, writer, musician. He does it all and played college football behind all of that. I have a feeling college football and the family that he grew up with, his dad being one of the greatest Mississippi coaches ever, I have a feeling that made the man and it made the artist that he is today. Don't get it twisted. In the art world, you got to be very, very, very competitive. You got to understand what it feels like to lose more than anyone, and then when you win, you're always humbled with those moments, those little golden nuggets that just seem to pop up every once in a while. And before you know it, folks like me and Clark, we call it a career. Visit Mississippi.org, the birthplace of America's music. Are you kidding me? We're up in. You talk about New Albany. I've played there many times in my life. I love those folks up there. Over there, my son was calling me the other day, my doctor son, Adrian, and he's a lot smarter than me. So this wasn't a dumb question, but people get Albany. He goes, I had to go to Albany, New York, Dad. And Didn't you say you played? I said, yes, I have this story that happened in Albany that was nuts. It was me and Charlie Daniels. I think it was doing this big show out there. And sometimes I'll talk about New Albany, and he was going, okay, where did this happen? You know, like, was it Albany or New Albany? I said, no, that's where you are right now. And
they're quite a bit different, the two, I'm sure.
I know, but both great places. Albany around Schenectady, which is right there with Albany, man, one of the best Italian restaurants I ever ate in my life. I'll never forget that. All right, I want to talk to you a little bit about sort of the creative process. You're a music guy. You know what it's like to be in the huddle, to prepare for a game, all of these things that happen. And I have a feeling that I could see you sort of being your dad, this coach, and everybody's huddling up and we're trying to decide how this creative process is first going to start, and then how are we going to translate it to the actual work part to be able to document it all to make sense. And so take me back sort of to the beginning of the creative process and then how you implemented it.
Well, it's definitely a big advantage to have that analytical, logical side. As you know, I'm a business owner and an engineer, you know, by trade, a mechanical engineer in Mississippi, professional engineer. And so it's a huge advantage. You just got to lay out your plan, schedule all your times. The creative process and the scheduling and production process are just totally different things, but it's a huge advantage when you can play in both worlds. And so once I had everything on paper, then my analytical side kicked in and I said, okay, now how do we map this out? How do we accomplish this thing? And so it really was running a business for several years and still do, Quail Ridge Engineering in Baldwin and Guntown, Mississippi. But running that business and running a production of a TV show or a feature film, they're so similar, it's uncanny. You know, you got resources, you got people, you got to schedule it, you got an outcome you've got to get to, you've got to ship the product, you know. And so it really all works very similar. And it's just a big advantage to have had that experience. So late in life, I guess, you know, working as an engineer for, 30 years is a big advantage to being a filmmaker at 60 years old. And
Mm-hmm.
you keep saying I'm a musician. I pretty much consider myself a campfire guitar strummer.
That doesn't matter. I'm going to say you're a musician. I've seen y'all's
Okay,
band.
that's good. That's good.
You've also got one bad mother playing electric guitar in that band.
I do. We got Will McFarland.
That's not even fair. That's not even fair.
No, that's right. I mean, he plays for Bonnie Raitt, you know, so we got a great one there.
Exactly. Exactly. So creatively and stuff, I mean, like, how much of this script had to be prepared, and then how much did you go off script looking back?
Well, that's probably sort of a limitation of mine is I don't go off script. I barely go. I go off script when I have to, and then I'll come up with a contingency plan and come up with a different way to get something done. But for the most part, I'm going to try to stick to that script. I wrote the script to start with to try to cover every one of the 8 counties, try to cover every story in the 8 counties. And the theme of our program is that the story that reveals itself along the Tallahatchie River is one single story. It's just a continuation over time. It's the story of a region and a people and a culture that exists in that area. So it was linking all the different little pieces together. You know, how do you link the Chickasaw removal from the area to Ulysses S. Grant and Sherman plotting the Civil War on the square at Oxford? Well, I mean, it seems unrealistic that those things can be tied together, but I guarantee you they are. And there's a thread that runs through the whole thing, all the way from Bobby Gentry and Charlie Pride, all the way back to the first people that lived here.
Talking to Clark Ritchie, the film, well, because it's more than a film now. It's a 9-part series, but it is a film called Tallahatchie. When's it slated? What's your sort of goal timeline-wise?
Okay. Well, my goal was like January. So
it's past January?
Yeah.
Well, then hey, guess what? In the music business and film business, we call that right on time.
Yeah, we're right on time. But yeah, we have extended it a little bit because I told you we picked up those great interviews with Morgan Freeman and Eli Manning. We're hoping to have it all delivered in May. And so I guess if MPB is watching this, they'll hear that as well.
Yeah, they'll be ready to roll. Do they know all about Morgan and Eli?
No, they do now though.
Well, where are they going to fit in the program? What series do you think? What episode?
I think Morgan will be probably he's going to be in the climax, the end of the probably the 8th or 9th episode. He's going to be in there. And then Eli will be commenting on his father, which will be one episode before that. Now we may find commentary from both of them that is applicable to some of the earlier parts as well. But for sure, they'll be there at the climactic moments of the series.
Do you know at the beginning of my show?
Steve Azar is at the very climax.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome!
Singing the state song.
Man, it's the best feeling in the world to have that. You know, every time I had some kids, I was going to try to make it there in Jackson. They were doing a whole program on One Mississippi. They were singing it. They were saying every word. And I had a parent that texted me and said, I just want you to know I love you and I hate you, because every day they've had to have the One Mississippi and the kids in the back seat singing, you know. And I'm going like, man, it's the best feeling in the world. I mean, it's almost like it's so surreal that, you know, it's my greatest accomplishment. And now it's our state song, which is so beautiful. But to get to see these kids doing it, it blows my mind. It's the best.
The idea,
it's just the best.
The idea around your song is the idea at Tallahatchie and the idea of your One Mississippi song, that we're one Mississippi and we got all these things going for us. They're brothers and sisters, they're siblings, you know. I
love it, man. I appreciate it.
So.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you so much. My daughter was tasked. She works at a restaurant in New York, tasked to take on a new Southern dish that had to be vegan. And she keeps going, they keep asking me to do vegan stuff. And she grew up in Nashville and grew up here, you know, like, come on, give her some meat stuff to cook, you know. But anyway, she's tackled it a few times and she's done a good job. But she was starting to do the slug burger, and she was going to make a take on that. And she kept getting twisted. All the executive chef and the head chef kept giving her mixed signals. And so she gave up, and then she went to the tamale and she ended up nailing it. So that's what's going to be on the menu. But everybody kept asking, what's a slug burger? And I said, well, I can tell you what a slug burger is. Let's take a quick break. Yeah. Clark Ritchie is my pal. He's my guest today. His MPB special, which is, I'm telling you right now, is going to go clear beyond, explode on PBS. I made the prediction. It's more than a prediction. It's a guarantee. How you like that, Clark? Visit Mississippi.org. Big part of y'all's funding comes from sometimes places like Visit Mississippi, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Rochelle and the team, and spreading the good gospel of Mississippi. Clark's all about it. We'll be right back on a Mississippi Minute. Go to Visit Mississippi.org.
It's never too late to start all over. Even after all this time, I keep going back to Greenville. I keep on going back to Greenville. Going back to Greenville in my mind. In my mind. In my mind.
Up to $20,000 available for first-time home buyers. Hey folks, Steve Azar here. Helping is the heart of our friends at Guarantee Bank. They offer programs like the Home Buyer Equity Leverage Partnership Grant that can assist qualified first-time home buyers with up to $20,000 towards down payment and provide home ownership counseling to empower you on your journey. These funds are first come, first served. Learn more about this program and to apply now, go to gbtonline.com. Guarantee Bank, member FDIC.
Your next customer is searching online right now. Will they find you or your competitor? If your website is outdated, slow, or hard to use on a phone, you could be losing business every day. SuperTalk Mississippi Media builds sharp, mobile-friendly websites that look great and work even better, and they're more affordable than you might think. We can drive customers to your new website with powerful radio commercials and targeted digital ads on Facebook, Google, TikTok, Hulu, and more. Call SuperTalk Mississippi Media at 601-991-2305 or visit STMM Digital.
Hello.
When I was 16, I knew everything.
We got a short segment. I can see the luggage packed behind Clark Ritchie, my guest today, director, writer, major asset in Mississippi. And I understand the mind behind him. I forget that he's an engineer, so putting together a script creatively and making and sticking to the plan, as he said, he goes right by the rule of the law when he's building something, and obviously building this film Tallahatchie is going to be so special. MPB, hopefully May to June delivery. You guys got to pay attention. He's got Eli Manning and Morgan Freeman and
Archie Manning.
Archie's in it. That's right. Archie's in it.
Archie's in it.
Wow.
And Steve Azar.
Yeah, well, I'm the mud of that bunch, I can tell you. I was going to tell you, Morgan-wise, after he did what he did for me in 2002, and so the beginning of my shows when there's visual, especially at my show, my resident show that I have down here for all the Viking Cruise Line folks that come in, the first thing they see is the intro of Morgan telling what the heck I was trying to say in his narrative, him in that rocking chair in front of Ground Zero. And that's how I start my show. And eventually I'll talk about how that came to be when I get to the song Waiting on Joe. But what a gift to all of us that man is, and getting to know him over the years, play golf with him, watch him sing while he's playing golf. And I got to tell you, he's everything that you wish that you think that he is, right? Like when you see him on screen, how nice would he be if I just went up to him and said hello, or if I was having a dinner conversation with him and all of that. He's just so genuine, but he's so huge, right? And now your film has taken on another element because Morgan is bigger than any film he's ever been in. There's no cameras, there's no movie script, there's no nothing that was bigger than Morgan Freeman. And I love the fact that he's doing this, and it makes all the sense in the world. And I'm excited to see that episode. Did you have fun? Did you already know Morgan before?
I had met Morgan at years ago. In fact, you mentioned him singing. When the June Bugs played at Ground Zero about 5 years ago, he got on stage and he sung Al Green's
he did.
Let's Stay Together with Us. Amy Gousset, who's the host of our show, she and Morgan sung that together. She basically sung back up to Morgan on that, and our band played for him. Yeah.
Hey, I've got some.
That was great fun.
I've got some incriminating footage that I can never show. Marshall Henderson became a really good friend of ours, and so he got married, and I had him play with all these Kentucky Wildcats. I'm talking about, they're not just Kentucky Wildcats. They're like some of the higher, level guys, right? So they are big sponsors of our charity event. And when they said, why is he here at my charity event? I said, not only is he here, but he's your partner today, your celebrity guest. And they said, we're never coming back. So not only have they become dearest friends, we're on a text chain together. They've been here with Marshall on the field at Ole Miss. Marshall has been on their field in their basketball court. People, he was a terror to them in Romp Arena. But when Marshall got married, we were all there, and Morgan was there, and Coach Kennedy was there. And I got video footage of Coach Kennedy, me, and Morgan doing Leroy Brown.
Oh my goodness.
It's the best. And Coach Kennedy is back there having the time of his life. And anyway, I wish I could show the world, but I can't show anybody. It's bus talk, But Morgan loves to sing. And, you think about Morgan moving back. I'll never forget when he was on, I think it was on a late night show. I think it was David Letterman when he said, so you live in Charleston? He said, no, I live in the Charleston, Mississippi. Just his pride for Mississippi. And what a man. Go ahead.
I'll tell you, Steve, I'm not going to give him away, but he makes some really outstanding comments.
Sure.
About his home in Mississippi. I don't want to give him away because I want them to be revealed, in our program. But Mississippi is part of what made Morgan Freeman what he became and what he is, and he acknowledges that, and that's really good. We get a lot of bad press in a lot of places around the country, but the people that are here don't give us press as you might expect. They give us great press. Honestly.
Yeah, well, we deserve all the great press in the world. And look at what's happening in the schools now.
Yeah.
Kids, you got people writing about we need to be doing whatever they're doing in education for the kids in Mississippi, the rest of the country needs to be doing. That's pretty cool.
Isn't that amazing? I mean, what a great job we've done in the state. Our leaders in both education, the government, and then our teachers implementing the implementation of it.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
really,
the tough part.
Phenomenal.
Right. And they've been able to not only implement, but make it work and penetrate. And then you're testing these kids and boom, it's working. That's just amazing. And this is the fastest I've ever seen it done. I know this has taken time, but you'd think about the last, 12, 15, 16, 18 years, what they put together is amazing. Kudos to our legislature and our government and our governors and all that who have stuck with the plan. All right. And the dream comes true. All right, that's all the time we got. I think we got a little prolific and a little prophetic there, and I appreciate it. Clark, you're the best. Yeah, we did. That's as deep as me and you're going to go. Hey, buddy, I'm so proud of you. I appreciate you taking the time before your son's wedding. God bless you guys. Clark Ritchie, Tallahatchie, MPB. And then I promise you, PBS, the world will see this incredible 9-part series. And I'm so blessed to be a small part of that. And I appreciate Clark for allowing me to be. Visit Mississippi.org. You guys are the best. Rochelle and the team rock. Clark, get to your wedding. Get those suitcases.
I will.
In the car. Later on.
Thank you, Steve.
I'm Steve Azar. In a Mississippi Minute, all 60 of them, where you can take your sweet time.
A SuperTalk Mississippi Media production.